What is good, skate fam? This morning, I'm gonna see if I can do a quick tutorial for you on how to roll in front side and back side. I've already have a complete masterclass on how to acid drop roll in. I'm gonna put a card right here on the video if you want to learn that one. That's the first one that I learned, and some people say it's the hardest. That's the weird thing about skateboarding. Some people are like, front side's easier, back side's easier. I like doing this, flyouts are hard. Like, everybody has their own thing. It's kind of mental, I think. But anyway, I learned how to acid drop roll in, which is, again, you can check out the card. You're coming over coping straight into the ramp like that. We're gonna do front side and back side. So front side would be here if this were coping. This isn't, but I'm gonna start here. It's a sharp bank that my trucks could actually grind on, so it's sharp enough to give me that roll in feeling, but there's no coping, so you won't hang up. This is a good place to start. So this would be front side because the coping would be to my front, and then this way would be back side because as I come into the transition, the coping is towards my back. Okay, let's get a few here for practice, and then we're gonna move on to some coping. So first step is learn how to roll in on noping, but sharp enough to where your trucks can hit. So a bank is good. This is a small bank, not too mellow, not too sharp, kind of perfect actually. Only, I don't know, 2.5, not 3 feet high, 2.5 feet high. What you want to do is as you're rolling in, and I'm going to demonstrate and then do some. This would be the backside roll in. I want to lift up, and you're kind of waiting for this back wheel to feel the bonk of the coping or the dip of the transition. Once you're there, you can literally stomp it in like it was a drop in. Because you got to think, once you're at that point, it's no different than coming in, for example, from an axle stall. If I were to axle drop right here, it's the same thing except you're moving, you have momentum, okay? So think of it that way. So if you can axle drop like this and drop in, it's the same thing except you're rolling, so you have some momentum going that way. Much less of a chance of hanging up if you let that back wheel enter and then you stomp it in like you were dropping in, okay? So I'm gonna do an axle drop for you here. So I would be rolling. I know this wheel's in because it's in, and all I'm gonna do is, that's essentially a backside roll in without rolling. Let's do some in motion. All right, so I just did a few. As you can see, it's very smooth. You have more speed. It actually feels more comfortable than the axle drop. I'm gonna get a different view so you can see the toe side heel wheel and how I'll wait to feel it dip in before stomping it. So on these, I know it's in because I can see the fake coping. I would be coming in at the angle, having the nose here, waiting for that wheel to dip, and then everything keeps in alignment. Shoulders are where the board's going, always. All right, so now we're gonna move it to some coping. Substantially larger, not too much larger, but a bigger ramp. I've got some nice big bonky coping. I'm really gonna be looking for the feel. As soon as I feel the back heel toe bump, I know I can drop in. I know I can put all the weight, keep the shoulders in alignment, and roll away. You don't have to be going straight. That would be an acid drop, like I talked earlier, and I'll put a card up for you. You can, because think about it, when you're carving, people carve, sideways if you have speed on the ramp. So as you roll in, as long as you keep your shoulders in alignment, you're gonna go with the board. This would be an acid drop. This would be backside, and this would be front side. Backside over coping right here. So something else I want to mention is, it's okay to be light on the back foot, but you don't want to pull it off the board completely because you won't really know when you're touching the coping. But being light on the back foot is a good idea. So sometimes it literally feels like when I'm on my board the roll in, this is already lifted because I'm lifting in, lifting up, but it feels like this. It almost feels like that. And if you do lift completely up, guess what happens? All that's gonna happen is, as the wheels bonk, it's gonna send the tail to your foot, and that's okay. As long as you stay in alignment with the transition, you're gonna make it. Okay, I got a bunch of different angles. We're gonna move on to front side, but first, I have a master class on how to 50-50 axle drop. So remember I told you, once you're here, if you can 50-50 axle drop, the backside roll-in is the same thing, except you're going in it with speed. So for example, here, you know, that was a roll-in, I just wasn't rolling. So it was an axle drop, but because you lift and you get into this position right here before you drop in from the 50-50 axle drop, it's the same thing as rolling into it and going that way. You're just not turning. You're rolling straight and going in with the transition. That's a good tip. All right, let's move on to front side. Okay, so front side is the same thing, except you're going front side. Now remember I told you people find things easier. I find rolling in front side easier than backside. Why? Because I can see the coping as I'm approaching it, and I can feel it, and it just feels to me more comfortable diving in from front side. I don't know why. Other people will say that's crazy, backside's easier. Some people will say, like I thought initially, acid drop coming head on is the best way. So the good thing is learn them all, because it adds speed to your line, it's stylish, it gives flow, and they're fun. So front side, same thing. If you are gonna do a 50-50 grind and turn back in, this is a front side roll-in right here. That's what it is. That's a front side roll-in. You're just not moving. So the difference is you're gonna have speed. You're gonna come at it. As soon as that heel wheel hits the coping, you can confidently sink in, dip the shoulder, keep it in alignment with the board, and right away. That's a front side one. Now, a stationary front side 50-50 drop in is harder to me and scarier than the backside. I tend to push both wheels on the deck and hang up. So what I've started doing for that is consciously keeping my weight inside the bowl, using my hand, I grab around the slob, and then I fall in that way, and it helps. You're not gonna roll in like that. So I'll demonstrate one. You're not gonna roll in like that, but I do wanna demonstrate that it's the same thing, except you're gonna have momentum. So the back wheels already in the bowl. Get on. Get low, grab, keep my heel in the bowl, turn and roll away with my shoulder. That is harder than the front side roll in. Let's get some. All right, so we're moving substantially larger, still small, but it's got the nice big bunky coping, and we're gonna go front side. Remember, it is the same thing as a front side 50-50 axle drop, which I don't like doing standard. I grab it, slob, and then pull it in. But I'm gonna show you another one right here on this transition, and then we're gonna do some roll-ins. Get on. For this one, it's so important you keep your weight in the bowl, or you're gonna hang up. Get super low, keep the weight in the bowl, lift the nose, 50-50 axle that way, harder than rolling in. Here we go, getting low, keeping that heel heavy. I'm gonna lean back and pull it in. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for rolling in frontside and backside. So key takeaways: speed. It's okay to go fast because hanging up on this one is going to be more difficult than hanging up on the acid drop roll-ins because you're coming in at an angle. All you need to do is get either the toe side heel wheel or the rear heel side heel wheel over the coping. You step it in like a drop in. Remember, they're easier than 50-50 axle drops, whether it be front side or back side. You got any questions about it, drop it in the comments. Really fun, great way to start your run, adds speed, it's flowy, it's a good line, it's fun, they feel good, it's a great trick. All right, I'll catch you on the next one.